It's hard to believe that it was less than 3 weeks ago that Lisa and I traveled to Virginia to be with our daughters. When we left Meridian that Wednesday afternoon, I was planning just a 2-day quick getaway before returning to a busy schedule of school presentations the following week. Shortly into the trip, I learned that March Madness would be played in front of empty arenas. That news was hard for me to believe and left me feeling unsettled. A few more hours into the trip, I learned that the NBA season had been suspended indefinitely. The unsettled feeling in my stomach was now a full-blown pit. By the time I heard President Trump's remarks that evening, I knew that my life had changed in ways that I didn't yet fully understand. Uncertainty and a lack of control washed over me. Today's scripture tells us of the death and resurrection of Lazarus, a friend of Jesus and the brother to Martha and Mary. The story begins with Jesus learning of Lazarus' sickness. He waits 2 days before going to be with Lazarus, by which time Lazarus has died. Martha and then Mary both greeted Jesus in the same way. "Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died." Jesus, Mary, and Martha wept together. It was then that Jesus asked to be taken to the tomb, and when he got there, called out, "Come out," to which Lazarus arose and walked out of the tomb. Through the death and resurrection of Lazarus, Jesus revealed himself that day to all who witnessed. My father passed away from a heart attack at the age of 61. I was 26 at the time, and the fact that I would never see my father again in this life hit me hard. My mind struggled to accept his death. He was too young to die. I didn't have any warning of it, and I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. For someone like me who had so much control over his life, death was a cruel reminder of all that I didn't control. That painful lesson, however, also prepared me in a profound way for profound new understandings. I gained an understanding of the effect of a well-lived life like my father's. I discovered the importance of my faith community, and most of all, I learned how precious time is that we spend with our loved ones. Up until 2 weeks ago, many of us had at least the illusion of control over our lives. And if you're like me, the more that we feel in control, the less aware we are of our need for God. My experience is that God reveals himself to me in times when I feel the most uncertain and lacking in control. I don't like feeling out of control, and I certainly don't seek it out. But when I do, I have to admit that I'm more open to God's revelations. Jesus used the death of Lazarus to reveal himself in a new way. Today we find ourselves in a time of great uncertainty and a feeling of loss of control. It's not what we would have chosen, but possibly we are more open to God's revealing himself to us in new and profound ways. My prayer is that through this time we experience the promise of Christ's given name, Emmanuel, which means God with us. Thank you.